in the newsroom so we can see some of the biggest business headlines that are taking center stage at this minute. Welcome back. Telecommunication company Safaricom has effected the expiry of its loyalty program, popularly known as Bonga Points, as of 1st January 2023, in a move to encourage redemption and unlock underlying revenue that has a total to 4.5 billion as of March 2022. Despite the company expanding the options for redemption to include the purchase of shares at the Nairobi Securities Exchange, NSE, purchase of airtime and phones, retail payments through the Lipa na M-Pesa option, and even purchase of a Kenya Airways plane tickets, customers with the Bonga Points dating back to 2019 will see their points expire as of January 1st, 2023. The telco announced that the value of outstanding or unredeemed points has been going up over the years, hitting 4.5 billion as of March 2022 from 3 billion in 2015. Moving on, government experts now say that William Ruto will struggle to deliver on his campaign promises as international financing bodies rein in on his administration. Hamana Manyora states that the continued reforms from international finance institutions like the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and World Bank, some that have been implemented like subsidies, will make it difficult for Ruto's administration to live up to its campaign promise. President Ruto, however, in its latest review of his performance after 100 days, indicated that his government had made immense steps in fully delivering on his manifesto.
On the list of the things that were faulting the government of Uhuru Kenyatta for was uncontrolled debt. And they said they were not going to incur any debt. But in the short span of like 100 days, they have had hundreds of billions of debts. From IMF, somewhere in Korea, South Korea, where, and there is no stopping. So they promised heavily that they would not borrow more. Instead, they are now on a borrowing spree. So is it a question of double speak? Is it a question of coming to face with the reality? Or is it, as people like us see, a question of the IMF and World Bank and the other big boys from the West, pushing them, an invisible hand? Because if you stop borrowing, you cannot be a friend of the World Bank. You cannot be a friend of the World Economic Order, because they want countries to be indebted, to be in debt. And that's how the world economy runs. And therefore, I suspect strongly that all these things are the invisible hand of IMF and World Bank.
Former workers of the recently revived Mumias Sugar Factory are now calling on President Ruto to follow up on the promises made by his predecessor, Uhuru Kenyatta, in ensuring that all their arrears are settled. The disgruntled employees claim that the current administration has failed to follow up on the promises made and now want immediate action from Ruto's administration.
Na vile aliahidi milioni 100 kila mwezi, tulitarajia ya kwamba kiongozi wa kaunti ya Kakamega angekimbilia hata ashike rais mkono, aseme leta ule investor mwenye identify. Huyo investor angekuwa asha land Mumias.
Wewe mwenyewe ulisema unaenda kuleta investor ambaye wewe mwenyewe ukasema unaenda kulipa madeni yote yote, including ya wafanyakazi, including ile ya wakulima, including yeyote mwenye anadai kampuni. Ukasema ukileta huyo bwana ni bwana ambaye ako na uwezo, stamina, financial stamina. Lakini ya kwamba wakati ulisema hivyo rais, kumbe ulichokora nyuki.
Sisi tunashindwa ni kwa nini president alikuja kusema hivyo na akanyamaza. Sisi kama watu wa Mumias na wafanyikazi tunaomba rais, tafadhali usiendelee kuchelewa. Walisema chelewa utapata mwana si wako. Wale viongozi wa Azimio, nataka kuambia wa viongozi wa Azimio wakiongoza na Raila Odinga waache kuchezea watu wa Western.
Mambo ya sukari imetuletea matatizo kwa muda mrefu. Nilisimama hapa kwenu nikawaambia mambo ya Mumias tutatatua, na nimerudi hapa kuambia nyinyi, mimi nimesimama hapo, tutatatua. Tayari nitaitana na hawa viongozi. Kuna mambo nataka nipange kwanza na serikali kuu, alafu niunganishe na serikali ya kaunti, alafu tuitane kama viongozi, kwa sababu hapa Mumias kwa muda mrefu tunatumia pesa ya serikali, lete bilioni 2, lete bilioni 1, tumeweka hapo karibu bilioni 5, lakini bado inafanya nini? Ya kwamba na pale Mumias kuna ardhi karibu nucleus, karibu almost 15,000 amani, 8,000 hectares or acres. Hectares, I think so. I think it's 8,000 hectares. So it's more than 15,000 acres. Pale ni ardhi ya watu wa Kakamega. Si kweli? Na hiyo ardhi inafaa ifaidi watu wa Kakamega. Lakini kwa miaka yote tumekuwa na hiyo factory ya Mumias. Mbali na ajira, hakuna pesa ingine yote imepatikana kwa hiyo kampuni.
The government has promised to release all the delayed funds under the Inua Jamii program. Speaking during a tour to monitor the disbursement of the funds in Kajiado County, Joseph Mutari, Permanent Secretary, Social Protection, indicated that the funds had been delayed during the government's transition period after elections and promised to onboard more partners to make the fund more effective.
Mzuri sana. Sasa hivi tunangojea saa ingine watoto wakirudi shuleni tunapeleka hiyo fee. Ndio sisi tunataka, na kidogo tunaweza kusaidia sisi kwa utumizi wetu wa nyumba, kwa vile ambao sisi sasa tunafurahia sana serikali yetu kwa dakika hizi wakati hii.
Nilikuwa sinafikiri hiyo pesa imepotea. Leo watoto nafurahi kabisa. Hata nafurahi, hata mimi nafurahi. Pigia simu tumwambie nasema asante. Pigia simu saa hii.
Kwa watoto wangu kuna shule na nakata pesa kidogo ya naenda shule, na ingine kununua mbuzi, na ingine kupata chakula, na nasaidia mimi sana. Mimi amesema asante.
For those we have spoken to are quite happy. They are receiving their arrears which they had not received from July. This is running from July to November, and each for that time is receiving 8,000 for those months of arrears, and then from next time, which we are also going on with the process, which will they be getting as usual, because this has been arrears. There was that transition, that is why the delay has been there. But I want to assure you and assure the Kenyans that we are going to be consistent, and we'll be giving this money to the vulnerables of the Republic of Kenya.
Matungu Member of Parliament Oscar Nabulindo and Kakamega Women Representative Elsie Muhanda have decried low funding from the Constituency Development Fund, asking the National Treasury to release the funds in bulk to reduce the number of stalled projects in the counties. The leaders also asked the national government to allocate more slots for teachers to cut back on the current shortage in the country.
tunaomba walete CDF yote mara moja. Unajua vile Mheshimiwa Oscar anafanya, hawezi kufanya kwa maximum, kwa maana atapewa tu pesa kidogo, na yeye anatakana pesa mingi ya CDF. Saa hii wazazi wako hapa, wazazi hawana pesa, uchumi imeenda chini. Mimi kama mama pia naomba serikali ipeane pesa ya ngafu. Kwa hivyo mimi naomba serikali, tafadhali mlete CDF na pia mlete pesa ya ngafu ndio tuwasaidie.
Serikali imeleta pesa kidogo sana. Hiyo pesa hata itoshi ward moja. Iko na shida mingi, mimi hapa Matungu tuko na shida mingi, hatuwezi kushika kwa upinzani. Ukikaa kwa upinzani na shida zile tuko nazo, tutaenda wapi? Hatuna stima, hatuna maji, hatuna barabara, watoto wetu wanakaa nyumbani, wazazi wako na umaskini, alafu hatuko upinzani. Upinzani unafanya kazi gani huko?
Bado tunafanya na serikali, lakini hatujasema tumehama. Sisi ni watu wa Azimio, lakini tukitaka maendeleo lazima tena tuongee na serikali.
Embu County is targeting to register 131 farmers from the 6 sub-counties in the area during the ongoing farmers registration exercise for the government-subsidized fertilizer program. On a farmers training program at a Talent Academy, Embu County Commissioner Simba Kiage said that the farmers will be registered during the exercise will benefit from the government-subsidized fertilizer program.
The purpose of the registration is to have biodata on the farmers that can benefit through the subsidy fertilizer. Embu, our target is 131,000 farmers. So the one that we are targeting from the 6 sub-counties, that is Bele North, Bele South, Mwea, Embu North, Embu West, and Embu East. And we are through with the training. They have been taken through the manual, the questionnaire, and also how to use the gadget. And they are proceeding to go and see and visit their farmers in the farmers in the area of sub-location. The registration will be done at the sub-location level with the support of the elders.
Right, that's exactly how your markets look at this hour. Now, the conversation is really around where the economy is really pointed toward. Now, if you look at what the tiff between Rigathi Gachagua and Sakaja is about the congestion of matatus in the CBD. And another conversation then around that area is, if we are talking about congestion, are we really talking about smart transport? That's why we talk about e-mobility. Because then if you're going to decongest, then we have a proper chance of going the e-mobility way. Majority of economies across the country are actually moving to that direction. So the question becomes, where are we as a country? And we are asking this question in respect to Africa as well. Are we late to this e-mobility conversation? Because other economies, as we do know of it, are making bigger steps towards e-mobility. In fact, your favorite car makers, some of them, like Volkswagen, are already saying that by 2030, no other vehicle is going to move out of their factory if it's not electric. And guess what? That is 7 years away. So are we late? If indeed we depend then on some of these economies to give us some of these cars that we use here locally. That is a question that we're asking here today on Look at Business. Once we come back, that conversation with the founder of the only Africa-owned electric car manufacturer. Right here on a Look at Business. Remember, online at Lookuptv, across all your social media platforms. I am Kiage Simba.